CalHOPE coordinators. Thank you, Gigi. I'm one of the CalHOPE coordinators, and I'm welcoming everyone to our Self-Care and Share, an event presented by NAMI WLA and our CalHOPE resource navigators. We want to showcase the work that our CalHOPE team has done in the past year in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. We are a team of 18 resource navigators, and you'll be meeting some of them shortly. Oh, sorry about that, everyone. So we are a team of 18 resource navigators. You'll be meeting some of them shortly, who have helped make our resources available to a wider community. We've created an extensive list of resources as well, which can be found on our website, with resources ranging from COVID-19 information, financial assistance, inpatient and outpatient treatment programs, and many others. Without the CalHOPE team, we wouldn't have an English and Spanish warm line running 7 days a week, or have reached communities all over LA County at in-person and virtual events. Our resource navigators have also attended in-person events, including farmers markets throughout LA, Santa Monica College Bodega, Let's Be Whole Food Pantry, and Core Testing Clinic, among so many others, to engage with the community who previously didn't have access to mental health resources. Our team has reached our community through social media as well, Instagram live conversations about mental health in Black communities and Spanish-speaking communities, parenting during the pandemic, and COVID-19 resources. They've also allowed us to start peer and family support groups in Spanish, as well as family-to-family classes in Spanish. And this is a goal that we're so grateful to have reached with the help of our CalHOPE team. So thank you everyone for coming, and we hope this event sheds a light on all of the wonderful work that our resource navigators have done in the past year. And we hope you find this event informative and helpful. Throughout the event, we'll be putting links in the chat where you can learn more about the resources, and we'll also be having a Q&A portion at the end of the event. But please feel free to drop questions in the chat, and hopefully we'll answer them along the way. If not, again, we do have the Q&A portion at the end. Okay, perfect. We're going to go ahead and get started with some NAMI WLA resources from Debbie, who is also a family support group facilitator and runs a family-to-family class.
Thank you, Marian. Yeah, my name is Debbie, and I've had the privilege of serving as a resource navigator and warm line counselor for NAMI West LA in partnership with CalHOPE. I want to share with you the amazing work we do at NAMI to serve our community. NAMI West Los Angeles is one of the 200 affiliates nationwide. We're proud to serve as a local affiliate to our community. Millions of people are affected by mental health conditions each year. As of 2020, it was reported that 1 in 5 US adults experienced a mental health condition, while 1 in 25 US experience a serious mental health condition, with 17% of youth ages 6 through 17 experiencing a mental health disorder. To us here at NAMI, these are not just numbers or statistics. These are our loved ones. They're your loved ones, or it may even be you. Learning that you or a loved one has a mental health condition can be frightening, confusing, and lonely, which is why we exist. We offer free education, support, and advocacy to help people feel less alone. Currently, we offer family support groups and classes, peer support groups and classes, both in English and Spanish, mental health education for schools, and a monthly speaker series featuring talks by mental health professionals around our area. So let me tell you a little bit more about each one of these. Our free weekly support groups are open groups, meaning you don't need to sign up, just show up. Currently, we have multiple groups happening throughout the week for families of loved ones navigating a mental health condition, and our peer-to-peer support groups for individuals navigating a mental health condition. They're being offered in both English and Spanish, with most meetings on Zoom and a few meetings in person. Each group usually runs 60 to 90 minutes. You can check our website for more information and the links to these Zoom meetings. Next, I want to tell you a little bit about our family-to-family classes and peer classes. These are 8-week courses designed to help all family members understand, support their loved ones with a mental health condition, while at the same time maintaining their own well-being. These courses include information on schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, major depressive disorder, and other mental health conditions. And then the peer-to-peer recovery class is an education course open to anyone experiencing a mental health challenge. These courses are designed to encourage growth, healing, and recovery among participants, providing them with information, skills, and guidance. These groups, these classes, while free, require participants to sign up to maintain an adequate class size. Once you sign up to a class, you'll go through those 8 weeks with your cohort. So it's also a time to build a community. And again, these are all available on our website. Now I'd like to turn it over to my fellow resource navigator, Max, who's been doing amazing work leading our veterans and first responders outreach. Max, can you tell us a little more about the Homefront program?
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Debbie. So I've been reaching out to firefighters and police as well as veterans. And yes, the Homefront is designed to serve families, caregivers, and friends of military service members and veterans with mental health conditions. Nearly 1 in 4 active duty members showed signs of a mental health condition. This is a 6-week class, teaches you how to care for yourself, including managing your stress, support your family member with compassion, identify and access federal, state, and local services, stay informed on the latest research and informed on mental health, including post-traumatic stress disorder, traumatic brain injury, anxiety, depression, and substance use, manage a crisis, solve problems, and communicate effectively. Sorry, Dave. Okay, and that's it on the Homefront.
Yeah, thank you so much, Max, for sharing that valuable information. And once again, more information on our Homefront program is available on our website. Another program I want to tell you about is Ending the Silence. Ending the Silence is an engaging presentation that helps audience members learn about the warning signs of mental health conditions and what steps to take if they or a loved one are showing symptoms of a mental health condition. Currently, we present in high schools with all speakers having lived experience and sharing their own stories. And we've been doing this in person and quickly pivoted to Zoom, as you can see, because we want to get this message out. Another program is our Janice Black Warner Speaker Series, which is a monthly event where we have the opportunity to hear from mental health professionals. Our next event is Wednesday, February 2nd at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we'll hear from Andrea Sonnenberg, producer of the Getting Through podcast, about young people's resilience despite living with a mental health challenge. Again, this is going to be happening on Wednesday, and you can get the Zoom link from our NAMIWLA.org website. And if you've missed any of our monthly presentations, you could always go back and find previous speakers and topics on our archives page, where you'll hear from doctors, pharmacists, rabbis, authors, speakers, community members, NAMI members, and more. So this is up on our website as well. Lots of wonderful, wonderful information. And lastly, what we do at NAMI West LA is advocacy. We recognize that an inadequate mental health system affects individuals, families, and communities, as well as the stigma that so often alienates people and prevents them from getting help. We advocate for change at the local, state, and federal level. You can check out our website to find out how you too can be a part of the solution by becoming a NAMI member, by volunteering with us, helping us end the stigma, by being an advocate. So again, all of this is on our NAMIWLA.org website. We'll be dropping links in the chat throughout this presentation. So please feel free to grab a link or go on our website.
Thank you, Debbie and Max, for sharing all of those resources. Next up, we're going to be doing some self-care, first with a breathing exercise by Julia. She does a lot of outreach at libraries and parks with us.
Hi, Okay, so today I'm gonna share with you all the 4-7-8 breathing technique. This one is great for relaxation and helping to fall asleep, reduce anxiety and fatigue, among other great things. So first I'm gonna kind of explain it, and then we'll do 2 rounds. The first I'll talk us through it, and the second I'll do with everybody. And if you're practicing this on your own, it's great to do 4 rounds, but for today, we'll just do 2. So let's get into it. This first step will be to empty your lungs with an audible exhale, kind of a whooshing sound out of your mouth. And next, you'll close your mouth and inhale through your nose for a 4 count. And then for the next 7 seconds, hold. And then an 8-second exhale from your mouth, another whooshing exhale. Okay, so let's start our first round. So exhale through your mouth, inhale through your nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale through your mouth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'll do a round with you. So this breathing is great. It utilizes your parasympathetic nervous system, which increases arousal and prioritizes saving energy for your body's automatic rest and digest functions, or your regulation. And this is opposed to the sympathetic nervous system, which we know as responsible for that fight or flight mode that gets overused by our anxiety. Regular practice of this and other breathings, you can see great effects like better sleep and reduced stress and anxiety. Yeah, so thank you for joining me in this exercise.
Thank you, Julia. That was a great way to start off for Monday. Next up, we have Cynthia and Garrett. They'll be talking about anxiety and positive coping strategies. They do a lot of outreach to local businesses, schools, post offices, senior centers, and veterans associations. So thank you, Cynthia and Garrett.
So my name is Garrett Shaw, and I am a CalHOPE NAMI West LA crisis counselor. What I'm going to talk about today is burnout. This information is from the Painted Brain Instagram, which was reshared from @BlessTheMessy. So signs of burnout, they include headaches, feeling negative or overly critical, unexplained exhaustion, being irritable, becoming physically ill, insomnia, change in sleep patterns, endless anxiety, feeling inadequate or hopeless, neglect or self-care, feeling numb or apathetic about life. Now I'd like to turn it over to my mom.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Sirota, and thank you for being here today. I am also navigator for the crisis counseling and a facilitator for support groups. I like to talk about adults, teens, and children struggling with feelings of stress, anxiety, and depression, particularly during the pandemic. These tools were created to promote the mental health and emotional well-being of children and youth during COVID-19 crisis and beyond. I'd like to mention that suicide has gone up 52% with young girls and young men 5%. When you have dark thoughts, there is a saying, you could catch it, you could check it, and you could change it. Sometimes things happen that you can't control, like a friend making fun of you, something you said, or in a situation not being included with friends. This causes you to have upsetting thoughts, which make you feel even more sad, angry, lonely, or frustrated. This can also affect how you behave. We often assume that everything we think is true. Sometimes our minds make us believe that thoughts are not true and are not helpful. Instead of thinking of your thoughts as one of the many possibilities, you will see many ways to view the situation. Also, the way you see the situation may be different from the way other people or someone else sees it. First, you catch it. When you're upset, stop and ask yourself, what was I thinking? This can be so hard at first. It will get easier with practice. Next, you check it. Ask yourself whether the thought is helpful or not. Next, change it. If your thoughts are not helpful, you need to check it and change it and move on. Change it. You can learn to have control over the way you think. Think about other ways that you could think about the situation. That's how you change it. You can learn to have control over the way you think. That's a better way of thinking about the situations. It's not easy to change your thoughts around, but you can catch it, check it, and change it. It does take practice. And now Garrett's going to talk about how to deal with anxiety when we have anxiety.
Thank you, Mom. So there's some tools that I'm going to share, that some actions you can take that will help stop anxiety or decrease anxiety and give you strength and resilience to help you handle the anxiety. These suggestions include holding ice cubes in your hands to change your thought patterns, gardening, walking, exercise, going into nature, mindfulness, dog walk, artwork, reaching out to a loved one, coming from your heart and being honest, laughing, unconditional love without expectations, breathing exercises, listen to the calmness in the room, and calming your mind. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Cynthia and Garrett. Thank you for sharing all of those tips. I'll make sure to try one of those out. Next up, we have frequently asked questions. So our resource navigators have compiled the most commonly asked questions on our warm line and at in-person events. So here's Mask to ask that first question.
Hi, Debbie. I'm feeling lonely and isolated. What should I do?
Hi, Max. Yeah, that's a common question we get on our warm line. And the first thing we really want to do when we get this question is identify if the person has a support system, people they trust, such as a neighbor, family members, maybe have phone calls, video calls, etc. And they could stay in contact with their family, maybe talking with others who share a common interest. So many events and things are being offered on Zoom, games that people play, they do it on Zoom meetings. And so we recommend things like that. Pets have such a therapeutic presence in people's lives. So maybe someone's in a position where they can't have a pet, but perhaps they can volunteer to be a dog walker, a pet sitter, or not even volunteer, maybe earn a little extra money doing it, go to a shelter and visit animals if possible, or even consider adopting one if they can. And then engaging in some physical activity. Again, so much is offered on Zoom, so you're not really alone, you're with other people, even though it's in a virtual environment. You could do yoga, other types of exercises, or connect with your spiritual community. That is another way. And then always feel free to call our warm line at CalHOPE, because we have many people that call in every week just to check in, because what we always tell them is you're not alone. So those are some things that we often refer callers to.
Great, thank you. I also need resources for my loved one who lives with a mental health condition. How can you help me?
Yeah, that is also a very, very frequently asked question. The first thing we want to do is find out if they're in crisis, because if an individual's in crisis, we want to really direct them to immediate help. Sometimes that means calling 911. sometimes it's calling the local mental health evaluation team. But if things are stable and those things are in place, then we have lots of ways to support their loved one. You can see them up there on the screen. Again, we refer back for the loved one calling in, we always refer them to our NAMI support groups. That's how I got involved in NAMI when my loved one was in a mental health crisis. NAMI West LA was one of the first groups that was up and running with the Zoom meetings. So that is a really strong support, helping them with coping skills, breathing exercises, all the things that we've been talking about throughout this call. We can share with them sober living homes, various places where they can find recovery. So we have a host of really, I guess, numbers that they can reach out to that are individualized, because every caller has a different situation. So we really want to find out exactly what's going on and then direct them to the resource that would best serve them. So thanks for asking that question too.
It's great. Also, how do I help my loved one with making medical decisions?
That's also a very common question. So one of the things that we always want to do is really respect our loved one and their decisions. And so if we can create what is called a PAD, which is a psychiatric advance directive, to say to our loved one, if you're in a crisis, what would you like? How would you like to best be treated? And if we can work that out with our loved one in advance, then we know that whatever decision we make with them, that it's what they want. Sometimes they're not in a position to sit with us and have that advance directive made. And so sometimes it may require something more like a conservatorship, and we will refer them to how they can find out more about that. Oftentimes NAMI will have presentations to educate individuals, and we'll refer them to that. And then of course, all of these questions, when it deals with mental health, we do direct them to the Department of Mental Health as well, because they have a very robust list of resources for these frequently asked questions.
Okay, great. I'm having trouble paying my bills. Where can I find financial assistance?
Yeah, since COVID, that's a common call that we get. And so fortunately, the state of California has provided a rent relief program. A lot of people don't know about it, so we redirect them to that. We give them that number that you see there on the screen. Also, with that rent relief program, if folks didn't know about it in advance, they are going retroactively as far back as April of 2021. So we always encourage, just call and find out, because you don't know until you try. So we give them that resource. 211, that's also a number where individuals can get lots of local resources for all of these things, from housing to crisis and emergency assistance, food and health resources. So 211 is another one. And then every week here at CalHOPE with NAMI, we're compiling any list that we know of food banks, programs where food's being donated. And so we always recommend that individuals look into that, see if there's a farmer's market, a local food bank. And again, all of this is on our website, and you can reach out and find out more information. And then again, unemployment. Some people, they don't realize they qualify for unemployment. They don't think maybe they've worked long enough. So all of these resources we refer them to, and we'll help them walk through it when they call our warm line, because that's what we're here to offer: non-judgmental, compassionate support. So any call, there's no, what we say, there's no silly question. And again, I have callers who just want to know that we're here. So yeah, so those are some of the resources.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, Max.
Thank you, Max and Debbie, for sharing all of those resources. And again, you can call us if you have any questions or if you'd like to speak to any one of us, but also in the chat, I'll drop in our resource page. You'll see our extensive list of resources. So there are more than what Debbie was just mentioning to us. So go ahead and visit that page on our website for the longer list of resources. Okay, Thank you. Next up, we have some COVID-19 facts and resources from Julia.
Thank you. So we want to just share the symptoms of Omicron because it's a little bit different. Sore throat, fatigue, congestion or runny nose, headache, sneezing, fever or chills, cough, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, muscle or body aches, new loss of taste or smell, nausea or vomiting, diarrhea, and others. And if you are experiencing any of these symptoms, you should quarantine. And you can find on our COVID page of our website links to the quarantine recommendations because it varies based on your vaccination status and other factors. If you do test positive for COVID, you should stay home for at least 5 days. If you don't have symptoms, you should get tested again and see if you test negative. Otherwise, isolate for a minimum of 10 days. If you're in contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, if you're unvaccinated or have yet to receive your booster, you should isolate for 5 days and get tested on the 5th. If you can't get tested, you should follow the 10-day isolation recommendation. If you're exposed to somebody who tested positive for COVID, but you are fully vaccinated, including your booster, you may not have to quarantine, but it is strongly encouraged to wear your mask anytime you're around others for at least 10 days, and along with this to be tested on day 5. There are multiple different ways to get tested. The most accurate currently is the PCR. And in LA, you have a couple different options. You can make an appointment. You can pick up a testing kit and complete it elsewhere and then return it to a designated site. There is an at-home test collection program and the new measure for 4 free tests from USPS. And a reminder that the best preventative measure is to get fully vaccinated, including your booster. For those who are eligible, it is free for everyone, regardless of your healthcare coverage or immigration status.
Right. Thank you, Julia. And regarding the pandemic, there are mental health resources available. We know that quarantine protocols can lead to loneliness. Fears of testing positive can also bring some anxiety. So there are ways you can get help and know that you're not alone. You can always call us at our warm line, which is on the screen right now. And also our peer support groups are for those who are affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. And then, yeah, so I just wanted to thank all of our resource navigators for helping us produce this event. We actually had just one last minute addition, so I'm going to pass it on over to Rosa actually before we get to our Q&A section. Rosa is one of our Spanish speaking counselors and she does a lot of work doing in-person outreach, so she's here to share some of her personal experiences doing that outreach.
Hello, my name is Rosa Alvarez. I am one of the counselors for CalHOPE. Has been an honor to serve our communities by providing outreach and engagement and linkage to referral sources and different connect with different programs and facilitating groups for connection and family support groups. During this time has been an honor for me to be on different locations like a food bank, shower event, clinics, different resources for the community. and you can search for our link for our Spanish support groups. We have one for family members the first and third Tuesday of the month from 7 to 8:30, and we have for connection for peers the first and the third Sunday of the month from 5 to 6:30. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Rosa, for sharing all of that. Yeah, so Rosa's one of our, we were able to have a few Spanish speaking counselors, so they've been able to allow us to provide Spanish support groups and classes, which is something that we haven't done before. So we thank them for that. And yeah, and that just sums up our event. Thank you to all of our resource navigators for helping us produce this and compiling such an extensive list of resources again, which can be found on our website. We'll all stay online if anyone has any questions for us.
So if anyone had any questions throughout the event, feel free to ask now in the chat or raise your hand. We also plan to hopefully have more events similar to this in the future. So if there's a topic that you would love to see covered, you could drop that in the chat now, or you could, call our warm line at any point and bring up that topic or even suggest it for a future event, because we'd love to hear feedback from our community about what you guys are looking to hear. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Erin.
Does anybody have any questions, or we'll see you at the speaker series on Wednesday night.
Yeah. Wednesday of this week, right? Yeah.
And then I see a question from Leah. So what are the hours of our warm line? So typically you can call us from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. However, if it does go to voicemail, we'll make sure to return the call in 24 hours.
And one key thing to note is to leave a voicemail if you'd like a call back, because we run an anonymous line and we don't share anybody's numbers. We will give you a call back the voicemail can be anything, but so long as you leave a voicemail, then we know that we can give you a call back and you're comfortable with us giving your number a call back. Yeah. We also have options for resource navigation. If you prefer to do a Zoom call as opposed to a phone call, you can call the warm line and set that up with whichever counselor you reach. And that would be, if you're looking for more of a resource navigation side of things, then you can hop into a Zoom and even share your screen to get support navigating a specific resource or program that you're looking to learn more about. So that's another option as well. I see a question from Leah. Do we have many calls about professional counseling? And if so, how are those calls handled? I'm happy to have a counselor maybe jump in and answer that, but I know that we do get a number of calls, people looking for therapists and other professional counselors. And anyone wants to?
Yeah, I can answer that, Ruby. Yeah, we do get a lot of those calls. And again, the work this team has done has been amazing in compiling a very lengthy list of resources. And although we do not recommend anyone specifically, we will provide them with a list of a sliding scale based on their income. There are lots of links right now where there's lots of online telehealth. And so we'll provide them with those links. And just kind of going back to something you said earlier, Ruby, where folks can jump on a Zoom call. We know that it's super overwhelming at times to navigate through all of this, especially if you're not feeling well, especially if you're feeling anxious. Just the overwhelmingness of it can prevent people from getting help. So that's what we're here for, to help navigate, to listen, to support. So yeah, that's kind of what we do with the recommending the counselors. Thanks for that question.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Thank you, Leah, for the wonderful questions as well. Any other questions? If not, we can wrap it up, and any remaining questions that you might have, call our warm line.